Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom Circle. We are February 12th today. It's great to be here with all of you, as always. And today I went old school today. I sometimes think of a concept and hash it out myself, and other times I'll do some research on my computer. But this morning I just pulled a book off my shelf and I just kind of asked for guidance, like what needed to be heard today, what would be most helpful today. And it turns out it was something that is most helpful to me in my own life today. So I hope that it also resonates in some way for each of you. So when we think of being dissatisfied, or when we have the experience of being dissatisfied, we're anxious or we're depressed, or we feel like something's not right in the world, um, our relationships aren't great, or our finances, or whatever that is, we often think that it comes from outside of us and we're looking for things to blame, but it always comes from inside of us. It's the only place where anything can come from. As within, so without. And the past is where most of our reactions come from. The past experiences that we've had create our perception of the now, which then causes our suffering. But the past is only alive in our minds. The past is actually, it doesn't exist except in our minds. Every habit of thinking, every single emotional reaction that we have, all of it is conditioned by the way we interpret the world through our experiences from the past. But when we live in the past, in anything at all, we guarantee that we're going to drag that past into the present moment and recreate it in the now as though it's truth. And we guarantee that we will make that our future. So imagine, how many times do you say things like, oh, I'm just impatient? That's an example of, in the past, you were impatient. So now you're claiming it. You're bringing it into the present as though that's the way it is. And you're guaranteed that that will be your future. Maybe you were bitten by a dog as a child, and then you think all dogs are dangerous. Or in the human realm, somebody betrayed you, and so then you don't trust anyone. Those are examples of bringing the past into the now, and then this moment is not free. This moment is not free. You are no longer a creator. You are only a reaction to your past. But the key to freedom is realizing that the past has no power over you unless you choose to carry it. It's like a giant backpack of rocks that you carry around, and you can set it down. When we loosen our grip on the old stories, we make space for something new to arise. So I've got this reading this morning that this is what I pulled off my bookshelf. I love this book. It is Gifts from A Course in Miracles. And so the Course in Miracles book itself is like that thick, and it's a different thing. This is like interpretations of some of the teachings. But this reading is letting go of the past. All healing is a release from the past. Let us forget the purpose of the world the past has given it, for otherwise the future will be like the past, and but a series of depressing dreams. Only the past can separate, and it is nowhere. Your past was made in anger, and if you use it to attack the present, you will not see the freedom that the present holds. There is no fantasy that does not contain the dream of retribution for the past. Would you act out the dream or let it go? The past is nothing. Do not seek to lay the blame for deprivation on it, for the past is gone. Dwell not upon the past today. Keep a completely open mind, washed of all past ideas, and clean of every concept you have made. You have forgiven the world today. You can look upon it now as if you never saw it before. The past is gone, and with its passing, the drive for vengeance has been uprooted and has disappeared. The stillness and the peace of now enfold you in perfect gentleness. Everything is gone except the truth. Free of the past, you see that love is in you. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past. And it is here that you are completely absolved, completely free, and wholly without condemnation. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and future, which don't exist. There is no fear in the present. When each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future, the present offers you your brothers in the light that would unite you with them and free you from the past. Would you then hold the past against them? For if you do, you're choosing to remain in the darkness that isn't there, and refusing to accept the light that is offered you. The present extends forever. It's so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. It is enough to heal the past and make the future free. It is enough to let the present be accepted as it is. Be very still an instant. Come without all thought of what you ever learned before, and put aside all images you made. The old will fall away before the new without your opposition or intent. Can you imagine what it means to have no cares, no worries, no anxieties, but merely to be perfectly calm and quiet? Yes, that is what it's time for. Faith in the eternal is always justified, for the eternal is forever kind, infinite in its patience and wholly loving. It will accept you wholly and give you peace, yet it can unite only with what is already at peace within you. So this is such a beautiful reminder. The teacher Byron Katie, she's a spiritual teacher. She wrote many books. Loving What Is one of the favorite ones of mine. And she talks about that any suffering that we have is simply an argument with what is in the present. And that argument with what is comes from the past, our past ideas of something should be different than it is, or it shouldn't be the way that it is. Anytime we have a should or a shouldn't, that's a perception from all of our past experiences that we bring into the now, and then we cause fresh suffering. But if we can think about ourselves like a 4-year-old who has maybe never seen anything before, they have amnesia and they see this cup, they don't know that this is a coffee cup. They look at it with wonder. There's nothing from the past tainting it or telling them what its function is or how it should or shouldn't be. They're free to be curious and just see the shape and be in wonder. And that's where joy lives. But when we drag the past into the now, we don't even see what's here. So I have a couple of questions that I was thinking about. What habits of thinking do I bring into the now that cause me suffering? And one of the things that popped up for me was when I choose to see people as they were in the past. And I use terms like, they're always like this, or they never do that. And I thought, boy, I think I'm guilty of doing that with a lot of people. Just in my thinking, maybe not out loud, but they're always flaky, or they're never on time, or and then I drag that right into the now, and it's clouding my perception. And therefore it alters how I speak with those people, how I see them, how I perceive them, how I treat them. So my relationship with that person is now based on past instead of clear, clean, free in the now with nothing in the way. if I drag the past into this moment by saying, you always used to do this and I only see that part of you, what I do is I put something between us and I can't even see you now. All I see is your past and what I made it mean. I'm not free to see what's right here. So ask yourself what stories do you bring from the past about yourself? I always, I never, I'm just, anything you put after I am. And what stories do you bring from the past about other people? Do some of the stories cause you suffering? Something shouldn't have happened, something that you wanted to have happen didn't happen. Bringing those past stories to the present in a way that you're against them, they shouldn't or should have happened or whatever, causes new, fresh suffering every time you tell the story in your mind. So there's an opportunity to reframe the story and ask yourself, what did I learn? How did I grow? And how can I be free of that past in this moment? So just a little bit of food for thought around bringing the past into the now and um, the impact of that. The impact is that you don't get a free future. You're not a creator. You're just a reactor. And if we want to create, we must start with a blank canvas. And that means we have to mind our thinking. So let's meditate. And I encourage you to sit up nice and tall. And I like to have my back supported, but my neck free when I meditate. So just sitting up really tall, the spine is, all the chakras align along the spine. And we want to be able to have good energy flow. Draw your chin back and close your eyes. And then take a big, full, deep breath in through your nose. Feel it fill your lungs. And then exhale through your mouth and just feel it leave your body with ease. Take a couple more deep, full breaths. And notice the feeling of your body as you just arrive fully in this moment. Notice the feeling of your body, your feet on the ground, your seat being supported. Notice the sounds around you, the temperature of the air on your skin. Everything is happening now. There's nothing happening in the past, nothing happening in the future. The only place where anything is ever happening is now. Your breath lives in the eternal now. Watch your breath. As thoughts arise, the only place that those thoughts can come from are the past. Just let them pass by. Be free. Stay anchored to your breath and imagine yourself standing beside a gentle flowing river. And this river represents time itself. The past flowing away, the future not here yet, moving toward you. Hear the sound of the river, feel its coolness, and look into the river and see small leaves floating on its surface. Each leaf represents a memory from the past. Some small, some are heavy. Maybe you see an old wound, a regret, a betrayal, or a limiting belief that has followed you for years. And I invite you to kneel down beside that river and one by one pick up each leaf and acknowledge each leaf with love. To each leaf, whisper, I no longer need to carry you. I set you free. And then place it gently back into the river and watch as the current carries it away. Notice your body feeling lighter with each leaf that you release. You notice resistance arising and there's some past leaves you want to cling to, just breathe through it and allow. You don't have to force anything. Just trust that the river knows how to carry away what no longer serves you. As the river clears, you feel a profound lightness in your heart. You step away from the water's edge, walking barefoot onto fresh, soft earth. And ahead of you is an open field bathed in golden sunlight. This is your present moment, free, spacious, and untouched by the past. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. And as you breathe in, you're inhaling fresh possibility. In this moment, you're no longer bound by old stories. You're free. You're whole. You are here. Now gently bring your awareness back to your body. And feel your fingers, your toes, the air moving through your lungs, the clothing on your skin. And finally, bring your attention back to your breath. And just watch how the breath is always in the now. And take a long, deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out your mouth. And let your eyes flutter open. Beautiful. So I'll share a short personal sort of story around this. I had a story that, we're so aware of the nervous system and how trauma lives in our bodies and all of this today, and that is true. It happens. Um, but I had told the story that when I was in the presence of a particular person, that I could feel a visceral reaction in my body, and then I would have to like I would have to manage my thoughts and my emotions and all of that. And I was working at the level of kind of like, okay, well, I need to think about what I'm going to say or not say and manage myself so that I'm emotionally regulating and all of that. And then it occurred to me as I was just doing this reading this morning, thought popped in my head. I was like, what if I just stopped telling the story that I have a visceral reaction in the presence of this person? What if I just stopped dragging that old story into the now? And as soon as I had that thought, I felt free. I'm free to tell that story or not tell that story, but it's that story that then generates the thinking about that story. And it's not about denying it, it's about accepting that, yeah, like maybe there's a physical response, but I get to decide if I'm going to allow that story from the past to be my present or the future. So I hope that this is powerful for you today, something to think about when you're looking at other people, when you're looking at yourself. Uh, what what part is free and what part is you looking at them from the past or looking at yourself from the past? And if you want to get free, invite yourself to clear the space and think of a blank canvas and ask yourself, what kind of stroke do I want to paint on that canvas right now?